welcome to Earnest Historical Society's production of The Importance of Being Earnest. We're so glad that you're here tonight. We are excited to have a nice full audience. We had a wonderful audience last night, so we're hoping that you're going to be even better and more responsive, so please laugh. You're in competition, I need you guys to win, okay? You've like doubled their size, you have to win, okay? Okay, thank you. A couple housekeeping things before we get started. One, in the case of emergency, we do have 2 exits. You have the stairs you came down, and we also do have a fire escape this way. Hopefully we won't need to use those. This is presented in the original format with 2 intermissions. So we have 3 acts and 2 intermissions. They'll both be 10 minutes long. During those, feel free to head downstairs, use the restroom. We also have some muffins downstairs and some water to enjoy. If you know the show, you know why. If you don't, then you'll figure it out pretty soon. So please enjoy those, and then we'll get those lights cued. When the lights go down, the music comes back up. That's your cue that you got a break. We got 10 minutes. And then we'll dim those lights again to get you back in your seats. A quick thank you to the Earnest Historical Society and Town Hall Committee for helping us use the space, getting tickets situated for us, and providing all our muffins. Other than that, when this show started, it was really a production team of me, and that's a lot to do by yourself. And I have been so incredibly blessed with the 10 cast members that we have working this. They have all volunteered their time and their energy with things far beyond the Call of Duty. Props, set pieces, costumes, publicity. They've been doing a yeoman's job, and I'm so grateful that we've gotten to work together. I think that's all I've got. So, sit back, relax, please laugh at me to win. And enjoy the importance of being honest.
Did you hear what I was playing, Lane?
I didn't think it polite to listen, sir.
Well, I'm sorry for that, for your sake. I don't play accurately. Anyone can play accurately, but I play with wonderful expression. As far as the piano is concerned, sentiment is my forte.
Aha.
I keep science for life.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and speaking of the science of life, have you got the cucumber sandwiches cut for Lady Brown?
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, Lane, I see that from your book that on Thursday night, when Lord Shorman and Mr. Worthing were dining with me, 8 bottles of champagne are entered as having been consumed.
Yes, sir. 8 bottles and a pint.
Why is it that at a bachelor's establishment, the servants invariably drink the champagne? I ask merely for information.
I attribute it to the superior quality of the wine, sir. I have often observed that in married households, the champagne is rarely of a first-rate brand.
Good heavens, is marriage so demoralizing as that?
I believe it is a very pleasant state, sir. I've had very little experience of it myself up to the present. I've only ever been married once. That was in consequence of a misunderstanding between myself and a young person.
I don't know that I'm much interested in your family life, Lane.
No, sir, it's not a very interesting subject. I never think of it myself.
Very natural, I'm sure. That will do, Lane, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Lane's views on marriage seem somewhat lax. Really, if the lower orders don't set it a good example, what on earth is the use of them? They seem as a class to have absolutely no sense of moral responsibility.
Mr. Ernest Worthing.
My dear Ernest, how are you? What brings you up to town?
Oh, pleasure, pleasure. What else should bring one anywhere? Eating as usual, I see, Algy.
I believe it is customary in good society to take some slight refreshments at 5 o'clock. Where have you been since last Thursday?
In the country.
What on earth do you do there?
Well, when one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one is in the country, one amuses other people. It is excessively boring.
And who are the people you amuse?
Neighbours. Neighbours.
Got nice neighbours in your Potter Shropshire.
Perfectly horrid. Never speak to one of them.
How immensely you must amuse them. By the way, Shropshire is your county, is it not?
Eh? Shropshire? Yes, of course. Hello. Why are these cups? Why, cucumber sandwiches? Why such reckless extravagance in one so young? Who's coming to tea?
Oh, merely Aunt Augusta. And Gwendolyn.
Well, perfectly delightful.
Yes, that is all very well, but I'm afraid Aunt Augusta won't quite approve of you being here.
Well, may I ask, why?
My dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolyn is perfectly disgraceful. It is almost as bad as the way Gwendolyn flirts with you.
I am in love with Gwendolyn. I've come up to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you had come up for pleasure. I call that business.
How utterly unromantic you are.
I don't see anything romantic in proposing. It is very romantic to be in love, but there is nothing romantic about a definite proposal. Why, one may be accepted, one usually is. And then the excitement is all over. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. If ever I get married, I will certainly try to forget the fact.
I have no doubt about that, Algy. The divorce courts were specially invented for people whose memories are so curiously constituted.
There is no use speculating on that subject. Divorces are made in heaven. Please do not touch the cucumber sandwiches. They are ordered specially for Aunt Augusta.
Well, you have been eating them all the time.
That is quite a different matter. She is my aunt. Have some bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is devoted to bread and butter.
Very good bread and butter it is too.
You need not eat as if you were going to eat at all. You behave as if you are married to her already. You are not married to her already, and I don't think you ever will be.
Why on earth do you say that?
Well, in the first place, girls don't marry the men they flirt with. They don't think it right.
Well, that is nonsense.
It isn't. It is a great truth. When it comes to the extraordinary number of bachelors one sees all over the place. In the second place, I don't give my consent.
Your consent.
My dear fellow, Gwendolyn is my first cousin. And before I allow you to marry her, you'll have to clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What on earth do you mean? What do you mean, Algy, by Cecily? I don't know anyone by the name of Cecily.
Oh, bring me that cigarette case, Mr. Worthing. I left it in the smoking room the last time you dined here.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say that you've had it all this time? I wish to goodness you'd have told me. I was writing frantic letters to Scotland Yard about it. I was very nearly offering a large reward.
Oh, well, I wish you would offer one. I happen to be more than usually hard up.
It's no good offering a large reward. Never the thing is found.
That is quite mean of you, Jack, I must say. Thank you. However, now that I read the inscription inside, I find that the thing isn't yours after all.
Well, of course it's mine. You've seen me with it 100 times, and you've absolutely no right whatsoever to read what is written inside. It's a very ungentlemanly-like thing.
It's absurd to have a hard and fast rule about what one one should read and what one shouldn't. More than half of modern culture depends on what one shouldn't read.
Quite aware of that. I don't propose to discuss modern culture. It isn't the sort of thing one should discuss in private. I simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone of the name of Cecily, and you said you didn't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you want to know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes, charming old lady she is too. Lives in Tunbridge Wells. Now just give it back to me, auntie.
Yes, but why does she call herself Little Cecily if she is your aunt and lives at Tunbridge Wells? Oh, what was it? Oh, yes, from Little Cecily with her fondest love.
My dear fellow, what on earth is there in that? All right, some aunts are tall and some aunts are not tall. Surely that is a matter that an aunt may be allowed to decide for herself. You seem to think that every aunt should be exactly like your aunt. It is absurd. Now, for heaven's sake, give me back my cigarette case.
Yes, but why does your aunt call you her uncle? From Little Cecily with her fondest love to her dear Uncle Jack. There is no objection, I admit, to an aunt being a small aunt. But an aunt, no matter what her size may be, should call her own nephew her uncle. I can't quite make out. Besides, your name isn't Jack at all, it is Ernest.
Well, it isn't Earnest at all. It's Jack.
But you have always told me it was Ernest. I have introduced you to everyone as Ernest. You answer to the name of Ernest. You look as if your name was Ernest. You are one of the most earnest-looking people I ever saw. It's absurd you're saying your name isn't Ernest. It's on your card. Here is one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthing, before the album. I'll keep this as proof. To prove your name is Ernest if ever you try to attempt to deny it to me, or to Gwendolyn, or to anyone else.
Well, it's Ernest in town and Jack in the country. The cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes, but that does not account for the fact that your small Aunt Cecily, who lives at Tunbridge Wells, should call her own nephew her uncle. Come, old boy, you better have the thing out at once.
My dear Algie, you talk exactly as if you were a dentist. It's a very vulgar thing to talk like a dentist when one isn't a dentist. It gives a false impression.
Well, that is exactly what dentists do. Now go on, tell me the whole thing. I may mention that I have always suspected you of being a confirmed and secret Bunburyist.
Bunburyist? What on earth do you mean by a Bunburyist?
I'll reveal to you the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you are kind enough to tell me why you are Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
Hold on. Here it is. Now go on, produce your explanation, pray. Make it improbable.
And I fear there's nothing improbable about it at all. In fact, it's perfectly ordinary. The late Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a little boy, made me in his will guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Cardew. Cecily, who addresses me from motives of respect that you cannot possibly appreciate, lives at my place in the country under the charge of her admirable governess, Miss Prison.
Where is that place in the country, by the way?
That is nothing to you, dear boy. You are not going to be invited. I may tell you candidly, however, that the place is not in Shropshire.
Well, I suspected that, my dear fellow. I have Bunbury all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions. Now go on, tell me why you were Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
My dear fellow, I don't know if you'll be able to understand my real motives. You are hardly serious enough. When one is placed into the position of guardian, one has to adopt a very hard moral tone on all subjects. It's one's duty to do so. And as a very high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce very much to one's health or to one's happiness, in order to come come up to town, I have always pretended to have a younger brother by the name of Earnest, who lives in the Albany and gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That's the whole truth, pure and simple.
Oh, my dear fellow, the truth is rarely pure and never simple. Modern life would be very tedious if it were either, and modern literature a complete impossibility.
Well, that wouldn't be at all a bad thing.
Literary criticism is not your forte, my dear fellow. You should not try it. You should leave that to the people who haven't been at a university. They do it so well in the daily papers. What you really are is a Bunburyist. I was quite right in saying you were a Bunburyist. You are one of the most advanced Bunburyists I know.
What on earth do you mean?
You have invented a very useful younger brother called Earnest in order that you might be able to go to town as often as possible. I have invented an invaluable permanent invalid called Bunbury in order that I might be able to go down to the country whenever I choose. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. If it wasn't for Bunbury's extraordinary bad health, for instance, I wouldn't be able to dine with you tonight at Willis's, for I've been really engaged to Aunt Augusta for more than a week.
I haven't asked you to dine with me anywhere tonight.
I know. You are absurdly careless about sending out invitations. It is very foolish of you. Nothing annoys people so much as not receiving invitations.
You had much better dine with your Aunt Augusta.
I haven't the smallest intention of doing anything of the kind. To begin with, I dine there on Monday, and once a week is quite enough to dine with one's own relations. In the second place, when I do dine there, I'm always treated as a member of the family and sent out with either no women at all or two. In the third place, I know perfectly well whom she will place me next to tonight. She will place me next to Mary Farquhar, who always flirts with her own husband across the dinner table. That is not very pleasant. Indeed, it is not even decent. And that sort of thing is a normal thing on the increase. The amount of women in London who flirt with their own husbands is perfectly scandalous. It looks so bad. It is simply washing one's clean linen in public. Besides, now that I know you to be confirmed Bunburyist, I naturally want to talk to you about Bunbury. I want to tell you the rules.
Not a Bunburyist at all. If Gwendolyn accepts me, I think I'll kill my brother. Indeed, I think I'll kill him in any case. Cecily is a little too much interested in him. It is rather a bore. So, I'm going to get rid of Earnest, and I strongly advise you to do the same with your your invalid friend whose surname.
Nothing will induce me to part with Bunbury. If ever you get married, which seems to me extremely problematic, you will be very glad to know Bunbury. A man who marries without knowing Bunbury has a very tedious time of it.
If I married Gwendolyn, and she is the only girl in my life that I would marry, I certainly wouldn't want to know Bunbury.
But then your wife will. You don't seem to realize that in married life, 3 is company. And 2 is none.
No, but my dear young friend, that is the theory that the corrupt French drummer has been propounding for the last 50 years.
Yes, and that happy English home has proved in half the time.
Don't be cynical. It's perfectly easy to be cynical.
It isn't easy to be anything nowadays. There's such a lot of beastly competition about. Ah, that must be Aunt Augusta, only relatives of creditors ever knocking that called Mary man. Now, if I get her out of the way for 10 minutes, so that you might be able to propose to Gwendolyn, will you let me dine with you tonight at Willis's?
I suppose so, all right, if you want to.
Yes, but you must be serious about it. I hate people who are not serious about meals. It is so shallow.
Lady Bracknell and Miss Fairfax.
Good afternoon, Algernon. I hope you're behaving very well.
Oh, I'm feeling very well, Augusta.
That is not the same thing at all. Indeed, I think the two rarely go together.
Dear me, you are smart.
I'm always smart, aren't I, Mr. Worthing?
Well, I think you are quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
Oh, I hope I'm not that. That would leave no room for development, and I intend to develop in many directions.
I'm sorry that you're a little late, Algernon. I was obliged to visit Lady Harbury. I think been there since your poor husband died. I have never seen a woman so transformed. She looks quite 20 years younger. And now I have a cup of tea, one of those nice cucumber sandwiches you promised me.
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
Gwyneth, won't you come sit over here?
Thanks, Mamma, but I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens, Lane! Why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them specially.
There were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down twice.
No cucumbers!
No, sir. Not even for ready money.
That will do, Lane, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I am greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, about there being no cucumbers. Not even for ready money.
It makes no matter. I had crumpets over at Lady Harbury's. She seems to be living entirely for pleasure now.
I hear her hair has turned quite cold from grief.
Well, it certainly has changed color. Of course, from what cause, I cannot say. I have a nice surprise for you tonight. I'm going to send you down by Mary Farquhar.
Oh, good.
Yes, she is such a nice lady, and so attentive to her husband. They are just a delight to watch.
I'm afraid, Aunt Augusta, I shall have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight after all.
Oh, I hope not. That will put my table completely out, and your poor uncle will have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he is accustomed to that.
It is a great bore, and I need hardly say, a terrible disappointment. But I have just received a telegram to say that my poor friend Bunbury is very ill again. They seem to think I should be with him.
It is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury has curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury is a dreadful invalid.
Well, if I may say, I think it's high time that Mr. Bunbury make up his mind whether he's going to live or die. This shilly-shallying about the question is absurd. Nor do I approve of modern sympathy for invalids. It's morbid. Illness should not be encouraged in any way. In fact, I believe that health is a primary duty of life. I tell your uncle that all the time, but he doesn't pay much attention, particularly as far as any improvement in his own health goes. Now, Algernon, I have a favor to ask. Would you please ask Mr. Bunbury to not have a relapse on Saturday? I rely on you for my music, and it is my last reception. One wants to encourage conversation, particularly at the end of the season, when everyone has said practically all they have to say, which usually is probably not much.
I'll speak to Bunbury, Aunt Augusta, if he is still conscious. But I think I can promise you, he'll be all right by Saturday. Of course, the music is a great difficulty. You see, if one plays good music, people don't listen. And if one plays bad music, people don't talk. But I'll run over the program I've drawn out if you'll kindly come into the next room for a moment.
Thank you, Algernon. It is most thoughtful of you, and I'm sure your program will be delightful with a few expurgations. Now, I simply cannot have any French music. Everyone thinks it's improper, and they either look shocked, which is vulgar, or they laugh, which is worse. German music, though, I think sounds perfectly respectable, because I believe it is. Gwendolyn, come along, please.
Certainly, Mamma.
Charming weather we're having, Miss Fairfax.
Pray, do not talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I always feel they mean something quite different, and it makes me so nervous.
Then I do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I'm never wrong.
And I would like to be now to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary absence.
I would advise him to do so. Mamma has a way of coming back into the room that I've often had to speak to her about.
Gwendolyn, ever since I met you, I have admired you more than any girl I have ever met since I met you.
Yes, I am quite aware of that fact, and wish that, well, in public, at any rate, you would be more demonstrative. You have always been an irresistible fascination to me, and I was far from indifferent from you when I first met you. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals, which is often chronicled in the more expensive monthly magazines, and has reached the provincial pulpits, or so I am told. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name Earnest. There was something in that name that inspired inspires absolute confidence. The moment after you first mentioned to me that you had a friend called Ernest, I knew I was destined to love you.
Do you really love me, Gwendolyn?
Passionately.
Darling, you don't know how happy you've made me.
Oh, my own Ernest.
But you really mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Earnest?
Oh, but your name is Ernest.
Yes, I know it is, but supposing it was something else. Do you mean to say that you couldn't love me then?
Ah, a metaphysical speculation. And like most metaphysical speculations, has very little fact in real life, if any at all, indeed.
Well, read me, darling. I must say that I don't much care about the name of Earnest. I don't think the name suits me at all.
It suits you perfectly. It is a divine name. It has music of its own, and it produces vibrations.
Personally, darling, I must say that I think there are lots of other much nicer names. I think Jack, for instance, a charming name.
Jack? No. There is very little music in the name Jack, if any at all, indeed. It does not thrill, and it produces absolutely no vibrations. I've known several Jacks, and they've all been more than unusually plain. Besides, everyone knows that Jack is a domesticity for John, and I pity any woman married to a man called John. She would probably never be allowed to know the entrancing pleasures of a single moment's solitude. The only real safe name is Ernest.
Gwendolyn, I must get christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once, and there is no time to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely. You know that I love you, and you led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, you were not absolutely indifferent to me.
I adore you, but you have not proposed to me yet, and the topic of marriage hasn't even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
I would certainly do so, and to tell you, quite frankly, beforehand, I'm fully determined to accept you.
Gwendolyn?
Yes, Mr. Worthing, what have you got to say to me?
Well, you know what I've got to say to you.
Yes, but you do not say it.
Gwendolyn, look, Gwendolyn, look. Gwendolyn, will you marry me?
Of course I will, darling, but how long have you been about it? You seem to have very little experience on how to propose.
My own darling, I have never loved anyone in the world but you.
Yes, but men often propose for practice. My brother jabbled on his... What wonderful blue eyes you have, Ernest. They are quite blue. I hope you will look at me just like that when other people are present.
Gwendolyn, Mr. Worthing, rise, sir, from that semi-recumbent position. It is most indecorous.
Mamma, I was begging to retire. This is no place for you. Besides, Mr. Worthing wasn't quite finished.
Finished what, may I ask?
Well, merely that we're engaged to be married, Mamma.
I beg your pardon, you are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged, I, or your father, should his health permit, will inform you of the facts. An engagement should come as a surprise to a young girl, pleasant or unpleasant, as the case may be. It is certainly not something she can arrange for herself. And now, I have a few questions for Mr. Worthing. Gwendolyn, you go down below and wait in the carriage while I make my inquiries.
But Mamma!
To the carriage, Gwendolyn. Mr. Worthing? You may take a seat if you would like, Mr. Worthing.
Well, thank you, Lady Bracknell, but I prefer standing.
I go bound to tell you that your name does not appear on my list of eligible young men. And I have the same list as the Duchess of Bolton has. We work together, in fact. However, I am willing to add your name to the list should your answers to my questions be what a really affectionate mother desires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I must admit I smoke.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. A man needs an occupation. There are too many idle men in London as it is. How old are you?
29.
That's a very good age to be married at. Now, it is my opinion that when a man wants to get married, he should either know everything or nothing. Which do you know?
Well, I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I am pleased to hear it. I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Natural ignorance is like a delicate, exotic bloom. Touch it, and the bloom is gone. Now, I do not agree with the modern education, this theory of modern education. I believe it's radically unsound. And in England, at any rate, it has not made any difference whatsoever. If it did, however, the upper classes would be in serious trouble. I believe there would be acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. Now, what is your income?
Well, between £7,000 and £8,000 a year.
In land or investments?
And then investments chiefly.
But that is satisfactory.
And I own a house in the country with some land, of course, attached to it, some 1,500 acres.
Oh, a country home. How many bedrooms? Well, never mind. We can talk about that later. I do hope you have a townhouse. A girl of Gwendolyn's simple and unspoiled nature could certainly not be expected to reside in the country.
Well, I do own a house in Belgrave Square, but it is let by the year to Lady Watson. I can, of course, get it back whenever I like at 6 months' notice.
Lady Bloxham. I do not know her.
Well, she goes about very little. She's a lady considerably advanced in years.
Well, this day and age, that doesn't guarantee respectability. What number in Belgrave Square?
149.
Ah, the unfashionable side. I knew there was something, but I'm sure that could be altered easily enough.
Would you mean the fashion or the side?
Both, if necessary, I presume. Now, on to, what are your politics, yes?
Well, I'm afraid I really have none. I am a liberal unionist.
Oh, well, we call them Tories. They come and dine with us, or come over later in the evening sometimes. Now, on to minor matters. Are your parents still living?
I have lost both my parents.
Lost them? To lose one parent would be considered a misfortune, but to lose them both looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He must have been a man of some means. Was he born, as radical papers say, in the purple of commerce, or did he rise through the ranks of aristocracy?
Well, I'm afraid I really don't know. The fact is, Lady Bracknell, I said I had lost both my parents. Perhaps it would be nearer to the truth to say that they seem to have lost me. I don't actually know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
Yes, the late Mr. Thomas Cardew, an old gentleman of a very charitable and kindly disposition, found me and gave me the name of Worthing because he had in his pocket a first-class ticket to Worthing at the time. Worthing is a place in Sussex. Sussex is a seaside resort.
Well, where did this charitable gentleman with a first-class ticket to a seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
Oh, in a handbag.
Yes, Lady Bracknell, a handbag, a somewhat large, brown, leather handbag with panels to it. An ordinary handbag, in fact.
And where did this Mr. Thomas Cardew find this ordinary handbag?
Well, the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him in mistake for his own.
Cloakroom, Victoria Station.
Yes, the Brighton line.
Mr. Worthing, the line is immaterial. To be born, or at any rate bred, in a handbag seems to display a contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life. And as far as the location that it was found, well, a cloakroom at a railway station could certainly be used to cover up some social indiscretion. It probably would have been used for that reason before. It certainly is not an assured basis for a respected position in good society.
But may I I ask you what you would propose for me to do? I need not say I would do anything in the world to ensure Gwendolyn's happiness.
Well, then I would advise you to acquire some relations as soon as possible, and to also procure at least one parent of either sex before the season is over.
Well, I don't see how I could possibly manage to do that. I can produce the handbag in a moment's notice. It's in my cloakroom at home. I really think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What has it to do with me? You do not think that I or Lord Bracknell would permit our only daughter, who has been raised with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom and to form an alliance with a parcel? Good afternoon, Mr. Redley.
Good morning, afternoon. Heaven's sake, don't play Cassidy too now. Do you know how altered you are?
Didn't it go off all right, old boy? You don't mean to say Gwendolyn refused you? I know this way she has. She's always refusing people. I think it most ill-natured of her.
Gwendolyn is right as a trivet. As far as she is concerned, we are engaged to be married. Her mother is perfectly unbearable. I never met such a gorgon. I don't really know what a gorgon is like, but I'm quite sure that Lady Bracknell is one. And in the case she's a monster, without being a myth, which I think is rather unfair. I beg your pardon, Algie. I suppose I should have talked of your own aunt in that way before.
My dear boy, I love hearing my relations' views. It is the only thing that makes me put up with them at all. Relations are a tedious pack of people who haven't got the remotest idea of how to live, nor the smallest instinct about when to die.
That is nonsense.
It isn't.
Well, they won't argue about it. You always want to argue about things.
Well, that is exactly what things were originally made for.
Upon my word, if I thought that, I'd shoot myself. You don't think there's any chance of Gwendolyn becoming like her mother in about 150 years, do you?
All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That's his.
So clever.
It's perfectly phrased and as true as any observation in civilized life should be.
I'm sick to death of cleverness. Everybody is clever nowadays. You can't go anywhere without meeting clever people. The thing has become an absolute public nuisance. I wish to goodness we had a few fools left.
We have.
Well, I should extremely like to meet them. What do they talk about?
The fools? Oh, about the clever people, of course.
Yeah, what fools?
Oh, by the way, did you tell Gwendolyn about your being Earnest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear fellow, the truth isn't quite the sort of thing one tells to a nice, sweet, refined girl. What extraordinary ideas you have about the ways to behave to a woman.
The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her if she is pretty. And to someone else if she is plain.
Well, that is nonsense.
What about your brother? What about the profligate Earnest?
Well, by the end of the week I shall have gotten rid of him. I'll say he died suddenly in Paris. Of apoplexy. Lots of people die quite suddenly of apoplexy, don't they?
Yes, but it is hereditary, my dear fellow. It's the sort of thing that runs in families. You would much better say a severe chill.
You are sure severe chill isn't hereditary or anything of that kind?
Of course it isn't.
Very well then. I'll say my poor brother Ernst was carried off suddenly in Paris by a severe chill. That gets rid of him.
But I thought you said that Miss Cardew was a little too much interested in your poor brother Ernest. Won't she feel his loss a good deal?
Well, that's all right. Cecily's not some silly romantic girl, I'm glad to say. She has a capital appetite, goes long walks, and pays no attention at all to her lessons.
I would rather like to see Cecily.
I'll take very good care that you never do. She is excessively pretty and only just 18.
Have you told Gwendolyn yet that you have an excessively pretty ward who is only just 18?
My dear fellow, one doesn't just blurt these things out to people. Besides, Gwendolyn and Cecily are perfectly certain to be extremely great friends. I'll bet you anything you like that half an hour after they have met, they will be calling each other sister.
Women only do that after they have called each other a lot of other things first. Now, if we really want to get a good tale out of witnesses, we really must go and change. Do you know it is nearly 7?
It is always nearly 7.
Well, I'm hungry.
I never knew you when you weren't.
What shall we do after? Go to a theatre?
No, I loathe listening.
Well, let us go to the club.
No, I hate talking.
Well, we might trot around the Empire at 10.
No, I can't bear looking at things. It is so silly.
Then what shall we do?
Nothing.
It is awful hard work doing nothing. However, I don't mind hard work when there's no definite object of any kind.
Miss Fairfax.
Gwendolyn, upon my word!
Algie, kindly turn your back. I have something very particular to say to Mr. Worthing.
Gwendolyn, I don't think I can allow this at all.
Algernon, you have always adopted a strictly immoral attitude towards love. You are not old enough to be doing all of that.
My own darling.
Ernest, we may never be married. From the old expressions on Mamma's face, I fear we never shall. Few parents nowadays pay any regard to what their children have to say to them, and the old-fashioned respect for youth is vastly dying out. Whatever influence I had over Mamma, I lost at the age of 3. But although she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, she will never alter my eternal devotion to you.
Gwendolyn.
The stories of your romantic origin told to me by Mamma with unpleasant comments has naturally stirred the deeper fibers of my nature. Your Christian name is an irresistible fascination to me, and the simplicity of your character is exquisitely incomprehensible. Your address in the Albany I have, but what is your address in the country?
The Manor House, Woolton, Hertfordshire.
And they have a good postal service, I suppose? I may be required to do something desperate. But that shall take serious consideration, and I shall write to you daily.
Oh, Gwendolyn.
How long are you in town?
Well, till Monday.
Good. Algie, you may turn around tomorrow?
Thank you, I've turned around already.
You may also ring the bell.
You will let me see you to your carriage, Gwendolyn.
Certainly.
I will see Miss Fairfax out.
Yes, sir.
Glass of sherry, then.
Yes, sir.
Lane, tomorrow I'm going Bunbury.
Yes, sir.
I shall probably not be back till Monday, so you can put up my dress clothes, my smoking jacket, and all the Bunbury suits.
Yes, sir.
I hope tomorrow will be a great day, Lane.
It never is, sir.
You are a perfect pessimist.
I do my best to give satisfaction, sir.
That will do, Lane, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, there is a sensible and intellectual girl. The only girl I have ever loved in my entire life. Whatever you so amused at.
Oh, I'm just a little anxious about poor Bunbury, that is all.
If you aren't careful, your friend Bunbury will get you into a serious scrape soon.
Ooh, I love scrapes. They are the only things that are never serious.
Well, that is nonsense. You never talk anything but nonsense.
No one ever does.
Ah,